If you're enjoying the content you find here, please consider becoming a member of the Gaze community. Subscribe right now.
That hammer is being held by a woman. That's right.
That's right, folks. Thor is a totally badass lady now, and Man-Thor is a washed-up, dirty old hobo with an axe.
Hello and welcome. Get a load of this moron. KT Roberts at The Independent has something to say, and it's stupid. Now that we've got a female Thor, let's topple every pale, male, and stale superhero character we can. Stealing a few spots from original characters at the front of the box office race is not only positive, but absolutely necessary if underrepresented actors are to have a fighting chance. Oh lordy, let's get into this little nugget. Speaking of nuggets. Okay, superhero movies are important. That's not an opinion, it's just true. Avengers Endgame is the top box office film of all time. Due to, we'll just call it playing games. Dicking around with the re-releasing the movie with less than optimal cuts. Just a money grab. That's all it was, a money grab. Moving on, sorry. Raking in $2.79 billion and watched by millions. Superpowers get bums on seats. Oh, that's sweet of you. Ass. And sneaking in social justice messages under the radar is a tried and tested way of speaking to the masses. Well, there you have it. That's all, it's really all this is about. However, I would say you really failed at the under the radar part there, sweet cheeks. It's very obvious what these buffoons are doing. And, yeah, there's no under the radar going on here. That's why people are up in arms. That's why people are pissed. Because we can see it. Plain as day. There's no attempt to hide it. There's no subtle message. Subtle messages used to happen all the time and nobody cared. Why? Because they were actually subtle. This is over the top BS. So, yeah. And apparently, KT here is a fan of indoctrination. So, just keep that in the back of your mind moving forward here. These stories have always been about underdogs proving their worth, or those who are, quote, other, finding their place. And the recent wave of heroes who truly reflect these traits is one we should cheer as it builds into a tsunami. Yeah, you go ahead and cheer. You can have that. I'll be at home, not cheering, watching classics. Since Saturday's announcement of a female Thor, the internet has blown up with people wailing that the historically straight white male pool of superheroes is being drained for a more diverse roster. Yeah, that's not really what it is. It's just you keep changing iconic characters instead of just making new ones for this diverse roster, for this representation. Just make new ones. If it's any good, it'll sell. If it's not, which it won't be, because you idiots can't create, you can only destroy. Yeah, so it would likely fail. That's why you have to steal properties that have already been made, that are already successful, and inject your disgusting venom into it. Moving on. Many can be safely ignored. I saw one person on social media bemoaning the betrayal of the Norse myths, a complaint curiously absent for Thor Ragnarok. I'd love to know which myth has Jeff Goldblum swanning about in an orgy spaceship. Okay, well, yeah, granted, but okay, first of all, addressing this whole Thor situation, Thor is not a title. The God of Thunder is a title. Thor is his effing name, and it's just stupid. Did Captain America become Thor? When he picked up the hammer, no. He was still Cap. He was still Steve Rogers. He got the powers of Thor. The inscription even says, shall gain the powers of Thor. So, yeah. Anyway, the powers of. Not the name. You don't become Thor. This isn't transitioning. No. You just get the powers. So, don't be stupid. It's the ostensibly more reasonable complaints that of, I don't mind female /POC/LGBT plus characters, but why can't they make their own? Well, I think she's talking to me. That nettles me. Nettles, come on, really? Because, no mistake, we are. Villain. Interrupted. My play about supervillains in prison therapy. You gotta be kidding me. This idiot made a... Okay. Runs at the Camden Fringe in August, highlighting my point perfectly. Original characters, even the ones created by behemoths like Marvel or DC, have nothing like the traction of old favorites. Meaning, we're starting the race seconds before the big boys cross the finish line. Stealing a few of their spots at the front is not only positive... stealing is positive, she just said that. But absolutely necessary. Quite apart from anything else, it genuinely makes the art better and bigger. No, it doesn't. And, I mean, if you're the one calling it stealing, and you're exactly right. That's what you're doing. You're stealing these spots from characters that have been around forever. And, okay, so what is this? A superhero version of income inequality? Like, they're at the forefront because they've been around forever and people love them. You twit. Yeah, just make your own, would you please? Audiences tire of the same old stories told by the same old people with the same old characters just dressed up in different superpowers. Look at the success of films like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, or the aforementioned Thor Ragnarok, which took a risk, hired a minority director, let him go on with his, frankly, insane ideas, and reap the rewards in the form of a massive box office smash, fawned over by critics. Likewise, Into the Spider-Verse reimagined Spider-Man as a black teen graffiti artist and won an Academy Award and $375.5 million at the box office. That's not a first, dumbass. That wasn't the first appearance of Miles Morales or any of those characters. They were all taken from the comics, which have been doing this race and gender swapping long before the movies, long before the MCU even... Where do you think they got the idea? Genius. Maybe if you actually picked up a comic, you would know these things. It clearly makes for more successful movies with better bottom lines, which a cynic might say is all Hollywood cares about. Yeah, it is. That's not a cynic, that's a realist, first of all. And secondly, I don't know if that's even true anymore. If they cared about successful bottom lines, they wouldn't be doing these things that are going to cost them millions. Ask Ron Howard how Solo did. But just consider the raw potential harnessed by films seen by millions, giving audiences superheroes and spies and princesses different to themselves normalizes diversity in a way targeted campaigns can only dream of. This is the power of representation. There it is. There's the word. That's the word of 2019, I believe. Representation. I can't tell you how good it felt to watch a woman. Sorry, my bad. To watch women, plural, she pointed that error out that I made before I even made it. Women, plural, fighting alongside men in Endgame, and how disappointing it was to have Marvel swerve an on-screen, or it doesn't count, bisexual superhero in the form of Valkyrie. something they have pledged to correct in Phase 4. Okay, first of all, that's not the real Valkyrie. Alright, let's just get that out of the way. She's also a victim of race swapping. And Tessa Thompson is a piece of garbage. I don't know if you've ever heard her speak in public. But yeah, she's another woke turd who is poisoning the well. So yes, let's plunder the male heroes. Oh, hashtag me too much? And Thor is an excellent place to start. Yeah, I bet I know a lot of women who wanted to plunder Thor. And by the way, that's something you're going to be missing out on here, Marvel. Thor drew a female audience for obvious reasons. Probably for the same reason that Aquaman drew a large female audience. And how many of those do you think are going to return now that you've made him fat and soon to be completely worthless? Yeah, not many. I don't think you're going to have the turnout that you did for the other Thor movies because, yeah, the ladies don't really want to see Natalie Portman fully dressed, no less. They came for a shirtless Thor, and I doubt we're going to get that from here on out, although I wouldn't mind seeing it. Anywho, there's a simple mechanism by which someone else can gain his powers, as shown in Endgame with Steve Rogers. Yeah. With who? I'm sorry, with who? Not with Thor. With Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, not Thor. Because the Hammer didn't change his name to Thor. Got it. To whoops of glee from the fanboys not complaining. Oh, okay, so she knows who whooped in the movie theater. All right. Plus, Marvel women have a history of relegation to the sappy love interest, or worse, the feisty girl whose only power is the super boyfriend backing her up. Yeah. So. Jane Foster is a particular victim of this casual misogyny. I knew we couldn't go this whole write-up without that word. Thanks, KT. You're not letting me down. She spent 2011's Thor demanding S.H.I.E.L.D. give back her life's work. They capitulate when Thor asks. And the sequel, Thor the Dark World, as a swooning damsel, showing her mettle by giving Loki a good slap, while she's in cuffs and Thor standing right there. Oh my. Finally, this is a chance for the character to, ironically, step out of Thor's shadow. No, not really. She's stepping into his role, which means she couldn't have accomplished that by herself. Right, independent woman? And that should be a call to arms for the rest of us, in front of and behind the cameras. Women directors are few and far between, and are only just starting to helm blockbuster films without a single female lead. With Chloe Zhao directing The Eternals. We're stepping out of the shadows, and if we can step on our male predecessors along the way, all the better. There it is. Oh boy. That sums it up right there. Here's the thing. Any actual strong woman, not people like you, KT, not people like this turd right here, not like her. I mean actual strong women. They understand that you don't make women strong by making men weak. They understand that you don't lift someone up by putting someone else down. That's pretty common, a pretty common virtue in society. At least it was. Not anymore. Now, this is what we have. Ass clowns like KT Roberts here saying just that. We're going to lift her up by putting the actual Thor down, and all the better. The more men we step on, the better, right? KT Roberts, go fuck yourself. Peace.